Fernando Alonso. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Fernando, why don't we start with you? You're back in Formula One and you're back at Imola, where you scored one of your greatest victories in 2005. Just how special is it to be here?
It is special. I think not only for me, for the sport in general. I think Imola is one of those places that has a lot of tradition, a lot of history behind. I think we all miss the Tifosi here. It was one of the races that it was amazing to come here and to see the grandstand and the red color everywhere. Yeah, we will try to do a good race anyway, and people at home enjoy the show.
How was it when you beat a Ferrari back in 2005, though?
It's never a good thing to finish in front of the Ferrari in Italy. I experienced that here in 2005 with McLaren, in 2007 in Monza, and it's completely the opposite of when you win for Ferrari in Italy, which is one of the best things that can happen to you. But yeah, I remember 2005. Obviously, I do remember 2006 as well, that it was exactly the opposite. And yeah, as I said, I think how emotional everything is in Italy in terms of results and in terms of passion, it made these weekends quite special.
And let's bring it up to the current now. What's your analysis of this year's car? What have been the main action points since Bahrain?
Well, I think even if the 2021 season is a continuation of the 2020 regulations, I think we saw many teams doing substantial changes to the cars, and I think it was the same to Alpine as well, and we still need to understand a couple of areas of the car that are giving different results on depending the configurations that we are running. We need to extract a little bit more performance out of the car, and hopefully from the next coming races and new updates that we will bring to the car, we can exploit a little bit more the potential. But you know, the midfield is very close. We saw in Bahrain and all last year as well, 3 or 4 tenths can make you fight for 6th, 7th, or 14th, 15th, and we want to be as high as possible in that midfield group.
Thank you. Lando, coming to you, it was a very strong start to the year in Bahrain. Any reason to believe it'll be different here?
A little so. I think mainly regarding our qualifying performance was probably not our strongest point back in Bahrain. I think there are many positives about the whole weekend itself, and just starting on the right foot and having a good launch of the season. But at the same time, I think one of the maybe slightly weaker areas was our qualifying performance. I think we did a good job, and I think we were all quite happy with the performance we did, and extracting the time and the speed out of the car, but just the position we were in was not as good as what we wanted. So I think when you get to a track like here, a little bit more dependent on qualifying rather than the race, it might put us in a slightly more difficult position, one where we can't overtake as easily on the Sunday. We can't have that pace benefit that we had on the Sunday, and things like that. So it's a different weekend. You know, we were happy and we started the season off well, but we also need to know that we have weaknesses and we have things we have to work on, and sometimes they get highlighted in different tracks, and this weekend could be one of them. But I think we can still be positive and hopeful that we can make improvements, and have made improvements since 2 weeks ago in Bahrain.
Where do you think McLaren sit in the pecking order right now?
It's tricky. I think a little bit different between qualifying and the race. I think we're a little bit more hopeful on our race pace, and we can be a bit more confident with saying we're one of the stronger teams on race pace. Qualifying just a little bit further down the order, but we've done one weekend. I don't know, it's difficult to say where, or just put an exact position on. I think we need 3, 4, 5 races to really understand exactly where we are in different track situations, whether we're low downforce, high downforce, wet conditions, dry conditions, and so on. So I don't want to say anything just yet. I think we have to get this weekend out of the way. We have to work hard and see where we can end up, and that will give us a better idea of where we are.
Thank you. Before we open this to the floor, we're going to start with a fan question. Take a listen to this from Anna.
Hello, my name is Anna. My question for you is, while going at this incredible speed, can you feel your fans cheering you on? Bye-bye!
To start.
We cannot hear them, that's for sure. When you are in the car, you cannot hear anything they say or anything they are discussing on the grandstand or cheering us, but you feel them. You feel the fans. You feel how they are moving on the grandstand, how they are. You see the flags, you see the colors, on a circuit. While racing without fans, it looks more as a testing day, when you see the grandstands empty and you miss a little bit that adrenaline feeling of racing and see those colors on the grandstand and those movements. So you feel the fans and we miss them.
I think Fernando said it well. You can't hear them. I know some drivers say sometimes they can hear them, but yeah, that's not true. But you can feel them, and I think it's hard you don't realize how much they mean or the impact they have until you kind of do the races like we've done over the last year and a bit now. With no fans there, and even the races we have some fans over the last year. You feel there's already something coming back, and it just adds to the atmosphere, and it's part of Formula One. And you can't hear them, but you can just feel that it's quiet, if that makes sense. And especially your home race, I think Silverstone for me last year is the one you missed out on. When you're driving into the track, already seeing the fans queuing up and waving the flags, the horns, and everything like that. You really miss that, and that's just part of Formula One. So I look forward to hopefully slowly letting more fans come back.
Thank you, and thank you to Anna as well. Right, let's go to the journalists now. We'll start with Christian Nimmervold, please, motorsport.com.
Thank you, Tom. Question is to Fernando. Fernando, your former teammate Jacques Villeneuve recently said that he thinks you're not going for the Indy 500 win anymore. And he said, quote, the first year he was strong, and then he realized that if he only did that one race, it was almost impossible to win it. He would have to race on all the ovals, and that doesn't suit him. Question to you is now, is he right or not?
Well, who knows, who is right and who is not right. I think we all have different opinions and different point of views on how to race or how to achieve goals. For sure, what the other people say about your own goals or your own dreams will not affect your thinking or your way to see things. So if I do it again, it's going to be for a dream of the Triple Crown or try to achieve the win. It's not that you do that type of race just for fun. But I don't know if I will do it again or not. And if I don't do it again, it's not because someone else said that I will not be able to win it. If I don't do it again, it's because I don't feel the motivation to do it.
Probably a good time to introduce this video question from Matthias Brunner, please.
Matthias Brunner, speedweek.com. Fernando, you spoke in various interviews about how endurance racing and IndyCar racing made you an even more complete racing driver. Now, could you give us, please, an example or two how those experiences helped you for Grand Prix racing?
Well, I think there are many things that you can learn from any other experience away from Formula One, because Formula One is very close environment and very, let's say you repeat the same thing every 2 weeks and the same exactly routine every 2 weeks. Your driving style, it gets in a way the same for over the years, and you just follow in a way the instruction from your team that they are optimizing everything in the car, and they are optimizing as well your driving style. So they are telling you what to do, where to save the tires, where to save the energy on the battery, where to perform the burnouts, how many to do before a start. Everything is so controlled that you are not able to improvise many things on a Formula One weekend. I think on endurance racing, you have to, let's say, be yourself much more than any other race car. In a way, you are finding traffic in different places, in different laps, in different time of the day, for every single lap or every time you jump in the car. You have to share much more with your teammates. There is a lot more teamwork on endurance racing than Formula One. So there are things that you are learning, and you are taking that different approach for your future adventures in motorsport. And the same in IndyCar. I think the level of detail that you have to reach in terms of setup and in terms of preparation for an Indy 500 race is much higher than any Formula One event. So, because the cars are the same, and how the small details can affect the driving style, the performance, the overtaking opportunities, how you have to anticipate some of the things that will happen in the next 2 or 3 laps. There are many lessons that you learn in different categories that hopefully you can apply in Formula One, or I can apply in the future.
Thank you. Let's go next to Dieter Renkin, Racing Lines, please.
Thank you, Tom. Question, first of all, for Fernando, and then a secondary question to Lando. Fernando, your old team, McLaren, have now got the Mercedes engine, which is no longer the same as the sort of Renault that you've got at the moment. Do you think that they're making the sort of right sort of progress up the grid? And Lando, talking Indianapolis, could you see yourself racing Indianapolis, particularly given the fact that McLaren is back there now?
First, I don't know. I think for us this year, being the only team with the Renault engine is a little bit different than last year, where I think Renault could compare with McLaren and see where the areas to improve and where the strengths of the car were and the weakness. This year is more a feeling that we have to have, but I think we are confident enough on our results, our analysis, and and try to compete in the front part of the midfield. And we know McLaren is right there at the moment in a privileged position on the midfield, just behind the Mercedes and the Red Bull, and we will try to get there as soon as possible.
Lando, Indy 500?
Is it scary?
It's very scary.
I mean, it's not something I'd say no to. I would need to try it, and see what it's like first, give it a little test or something. But I think I have my aim and my focus for the time being within Formula One. Maybe in the future it's something I'll have to think about a little bit more. But yeah, I think now I have quite a clear goal, quite a clear plan of what I want to achieve here within Formula One, and that's what I'm thinking about at the moment. But it's definitely something I won't say no to if I get a test or something in the future.
Okay, thank you. And Fernando, coming back to you, tomorrow the FIA is launching its Share the Road visuals as part of its 3,500 Lives campaign. You have very personal experience of when sharing the road with cyclists goes wrong. So can we get your thoughts on this campaign? Well,
I think it has been for a while now, this campaign, and I think all the actions that the FIA is doing on road safety has made a big impact on the normal day lives. And you know, I think all of us, we have a responsibility to spread the right message and to help, you know, to continuously improve the road safety in our days, in our lives. And yeah, I had this personal experience with sharing the same road, bicycles and cars, how we need to take care of each other, how we need to respect each other, seat belt, you know, very simple things that we are doing in our normal day life. It's not guaranteed that everyone everywhere in the world is doing it and is aware of the importance of doing it. So I think it's a job that the FIA is doing for the right way, and I'm happy to support always that action.
Thank you. We've got time for one more, and we'll go to Ed Straw, please, from The Race.
Yeah, question for Fernando. Obviously, Alpine's got some updates this weekend. What's the kind of primary limitation in terms of performance that you'd like to see tackled first? Obviously, everyone wants more grip, better lap times, but what's the number one priority for you in terms of unlocking some more performance?
Well, I think it's, in a way, it's more grip and more power, what you need always to improve the lap time. And it's not different in our team. Balance-wise, I think the car was quite okay in Bahrain. As Lando said before, I think every circuit will have different performance for different teams, so we need to check how we look here, and in the next 2 or 3 Grand Prix is going to be important as well to check all the windows and of the car and different performance that we may see from the midfield. But you know, I'm happy with the team upgrades here. I think it will bring some performance to the car, and we will check where are the areas in Imola that we have to improve. And at the same time, I need to improve myself more than the car probably at the moment, because in Bahrain I felt that I need to speed up in things, in procedures, in the, I don't know, again, the formation lap, the first lap, the pit stops. There were things that, you know, they were new to me in a way after 3 years, and I guess, you know, I will, with that weight out of the shoulders after the first race and the stress of doing it for the first time again, I hope I can perform better myself here.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Lando. That's all we've got time for. Best of luck this weekend. Thank you.